and welcome back to Influence, a show all about the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. I'm your host, Lacey Gordon. Here with me today is a special guest, Miss Jada Chubb. Jada, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Lacey.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on. We're glad to have you. If you wouldn't mind telling us about your position and what your title is and kind of your involvement with that.
Absolutely. So in my current role, I work in the College of Ag and Life Sciences. So I serve as our Director of Academic Relations, Curriculum, and Advising.
Yeah.
So my role is kind of broken up into three different parts. On the Academic Relations side, I work with our community and junior colleges to try to strengthen some of our pathway agreements we have. And then on the curriculum side, I work a lot with that on our college. There's a lot of different changes with the curriculum that are going on. So we work with that in the Dean's office. And then finally on the advising side, I serve as the point of contact for advising in the college.
Yeah, so well, I know we're in summer now and classes have just started this week. So have you had a busy summer with orientations and things like that?
Absolutely. So we had a full summer. We had orientations starting from end of May going through August actually.
Yeah.
So we've had a really busy summer welcoming a lot of new students to campus. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah. Can you walk me through kind of the advising process and how that works for students and where you play into that?
Absolutely. So students mostly meet with the faculty advisor, but we do have undergraduate coordinators in the college. And then we kind of come into play if students are having any academic concerns that they want to talk through. I do a lot of work with DegreeWorks, which is our degree audit tool here at the university. So making sure that students know how to track their progress to degree completion is something that we work with a lot.
Has there been any like recent trends that you've seen with students maybe who are going through some things, or like is there any recent trends that you've seen with students on the advising or academic side?
Yeah, I would say definitely a lot of transfer credit coming in. We see students really getting a good head start in college with AP and dual enrollment credit.
Right.
So they're really ahead of the game whenever they come to Mississippi State, which is really exciting, but we see a lot of transfer credit coming into the university.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So what's your favorite part of your job?
I'd say my favorite part is just getting to work with all of our different students, and our undergraduate coordinators are fantastic. They wear a lot of different hats. A lot of them are teaching and doing research and lots of different things in their fields. And so it's really awesome that we do have the type of support we do at the departmental level. So I really enjoy working with our undergraduate coordinators, and then of course helping our students figure out their next steps.
Yeah. What advice would you give to parents or students that are about to start maybe the advising process or start applying for college and thinking about what classes they're going to take?
Yeah, I would say definitely start thinking about looking at course catalogs. We have our course catalog online at Mississippi State where students can see the types of classes that they would take. So knowing that we are seeing a lot of students coming in with a lot of dual enrollment, AP, IB credit, I think it's really important that they're just thinking about that when they're enrolling in those classes. And I would say just ask lots of questions. You can never ask too many questions. And so we always want to make sure that students and parents just feel like the dean's office is a place that they can go to get their questions answered.
Right. Well, Jada, switching gears on you just a little bit, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background and what led you to this position?
Absolutely. So I'm a two-time alum of Mississippi State. I have a degree in communication, and then I stayed for a master's degree in student affairs and higher education.
Wonderful.
And I'm currently working on a PhD in higher education. So I'm really excited to be a three-time grad of Mississippi State very soon, but I have a background in academic advising. When I finished my degrees at Mississippi State, I went to Clemson University for a few years, worked in academic advising roles at that institution, and then of course came back to my alma mater. I worked in our career center on campus for a little bit, and then now I'm in the College of Ag and Life Sciences, and I've really enjoyed that, and I think it's a really good blend of all the different experiences I've had so far, getting to work on the academic and policy side of things, but then of course helping students navigate internships and co-op and experiential learning opportunities. So I've really enjoyed being in the college.
Explain a little bit more about that, about the internship and the experimental learning part of it. Go a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah, I think our college is really unique because a lot of our curriculum builds in opportunities for students to get hands-on experience. So that's something I always love talking about at orientation is you can look at Mississippi State and just see our different facilities set up and all the opportunities students have to get outside the classroom and actually apply some of the skills that they're learning. So one of the things we're really excited about this fall is we'll have a Career Connections event event coming up where we'll have some employers come to campus to connect with students.
Yeah.
So that's something that we take a lot of pride in, is trying
Right.
to bring in those industry connections so students can make those connections while they're here, and then hopefully go off and do some really great things when they leave us.
Right. Well, we're so excited to have you in this position. You've already done so many great things in the forefront of it, and then also behind the scenes, you're working so hard for us. And I know our students are so appreciative
Thank
of you.
you.
So thank you for everything that you do,
absolutely.
Jada. What is your favorite place on campus?
So favorite place on campus, I'd say it's probably the drill field.
Yeah.
I think one, it just goes back to our heritage as a university, and then two, I think it's just a beautiful place on campus. You know, on a nice day, you can see the flag going and just students out, and I feel like you can really feel the energy on campus. And so any opportunity I get to just walk through the drill field during class days, I love that, just to see all of our students out.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Jada, and we'll be right back after this.
Think you know egg? Think again.
We are creative.
We protect the environment.
We prepare for careers in medicine and conduct research.
We empower people and communities.
We are technology driven.
And we feed and clothe the world. We are the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Mississippi State University.
Welcome back to Influence. Here with me now is Miss Sawyer Bowering. Sawyer, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
we're
me.
glad to have you.
Appreciate it.
If you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about your role now and what kind of led you into this role.
Yeah, so right now I serve as the executive director in the Center for Advising, which is kind of unique in the sense that we're not in a specific college, we're in student success.
Right.
A little background, I guess, about me and what got me to this role specifically. I'm also, like Jada mentioned, a two-time alum from Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And when I finished my bachelor's, I went home to teach for 2 years. I was a high school teacher, and then came back to Mississippi State as a graduate assistant, and I worked in athletic academics. Worked there for about 8 years, and primarily worked with the men's basketball team and the softball team, dabbled in some other sports, football, baseball, some tennises. So super cool experience, which I think prepared me, both of those roles, I think prepared me for this job now, working with freshmen and undeclared students as they transition to college and into their academic programs.
Yeah. So is your role more so focused on transfer students and first year students at Mississippi State?
Yeah. So right now we are serving. In a pilot, we're serving freshmen, and so we actually have biochemistry, some biochemistry majors, which is our connection to CALS.
Okay, yes.
And we also work with undeclared students, and so in that undeclared student population, it's freshman transfers, potentially readmits, so diverse student population, but I would say majority of our student population is still exploring majors and careers, working so heavily with freshmen and undeclared students.
Right. So within that, with the undeclared students, are y'all giving them pathways or resources or to kind of explore what they might want to do?
For sure. And you know, there's no one path or answer for everybody. I think now in this generation, it's a convenience thing. So they want a magic wand or a crystal ball that you know, you click a button and out pops the answer for the rest of their life.
This is what I'm going to do forever.
And it's a process. You got to do your research. We partner really well with the Career Center. that is starting to have more resources for the freshman, sophomore level, not just the back end of interview
Right.
process and
Right.
resume building and things like that. Our advisors do a really good job of kind of asking those open-ended questions
Right.
that prompt
Get 'em
the students
thinking.
to, yeah.
Right.
I think we're doing a great job,
Yeah.
hoping to kind of help with our retention and graduation
Yeah.
rates long term. So.
Completely agree. I think that will have a direct correlation to that and a great effect. So thank you for that. So with that role, what would you say is your favorite part of that? Your favorite part of
gosh.
your job?
You know, I've really learned how much our freshman student population is learning and how new it all is to them. And so, you know, just this week, it's the first week
Yeah,
of classes.
right.
And so we're in Old Main, which is really nice, Old Main Academic Center. We're in the heart of campus. And we'll just stand outside in the hallway and because they don't know where the rooms are.
Right,
Or, you know,
right.
some students might have their high school might have only had one floor, and so
Yeah.
they don't know that if it starts with a 3, that it's on the third floor.
Right.
Just the little things like that
Yeah.
that I think bring them so much comfort or peace or security about where they are and what they're
Right.
doing because it's so new to them.
Right.
That I think is what's fun for me.
Right. Well, and I know you said for the undeclared students or students, they just might not be sure what they want to go into yet. Y'all have such a task in front of you because, you know, on the college side, on the College of Ag side, we're such a diverse college.
Yeah.
You know, we have anything from biochemistry to plant and soil sciences. You know, you could be in a field or you could be in a hospital.
Absolutely.
So it's just such a broad thing, and you're right. It's a task to educate students on all those things.
Yeah, and kind of helping them, one, know what their options are.
Right.
Like you said, Ag and Life Sciences has, I want to say 19 majors. I could
Right.
be off, give or
Right.
take 1 or 2. And they simply just don't know what their options are.
Right.
So then once they realize, it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so how do we kind of narrow
Right.
that search
Right.
to their strengths and
Yeah.
their interests and things like that?
That's interesting because, I mean, like I just said, you know, fashion design is also within our college,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of things that people don't even realize are in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences fall under that umbrella. And so it's interesting to hear you say how you navigate that per se.
Yeah.
That's a neat thing.
And I'll give Ag and Life Sciences props. You got a little bit of everything from
Right.
the medical track to the
Right.
human sciences
Yeah.
to, like you said, fashion design.
Right.
There's some business elements,
Yeah.
some engineering elements.
Yeah.
So y'all cover it all.
Yeah. Well, Sawyer, thank you so much for coming on with us today. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Well, we'll see you next time on Influence.